What is up, everybody? It is the Matt Ramage Show. We have a great guest today, Mr. Rob Westerman, GBP Packers Daily. But before we get into all that, dude, I got that Quick Trip merch going on. You know? Next time that Quick Trip merch, head on over to quicktripmerch.com. Get yourself some merch. They got like some Christmas sweaters out there too. They got some stuff going on at Quick Trip merch. So quicktripmerch.com. Go get yourself, some merch. Treat yourself a little bit. You know what I mean?
Quick Trip gear. Come on.
Yeah, now. And then when you walk into Quick Trip wearing Quick Trip merch, people talk to you. People ask you questions. People
you might get a free donut.
They're like, you work here, bro? Where are the Glazers? I'm like, I don't work here, dude.
But, where are the McRib sandwiches? McRib sandwiches are where it's at.
Yeah. I would say that's more likely because they always have Glazers out. I've never walked into a Quick Trip and like I cannot find any. They're everywhere.
Right.
You could build.
And one more thing, their chocolate milk. Their chocolate milk is the best chocolate milk you'll ever have.
Dude, I 100% agree with that. Like if you're hungover and you get yourself some chocolate milk, but also a Gatorade,
Yeah.
But chocolate milk it'll coat your stomach. It depends how hungover you are. Like, did you quit drinking 2 hours ago? Maybe you don't hit the chocolate milk quite yet. You get a little sleep in you wake up, it coats the stomach, but you want to have some time. You don't want to be mixing. You want to make sure that alcohol got digested a little bit. You know what I mean? Before you start throwing dairy in that thing.
It goes in the same way it comes out. If that's for sure.
All right, we're having a good time over here. The Green Bay Packers victorious against the Chicago Bears, as everyone knows. It is Tuesday. It took, I always plan on doing a podcast on Monday because, like, reaction and all that. But like, Sundays are rough for me, dude. Like, you go through a lot of emotions. Monday, I just chill out a little bit. But
well, you got to get up early for work, so
yeah, I work at 4 a.m. so I get up at 2:30 in the morning. It's it's brutal, bro. It's brutal. But like Saturday, I didn't make it. I got written up on Friday for attendance and called in on Saturday. But they give you sick days come December 1st, and they don't count for nothing. It's like calling, no strings attached.
You're good.
So like I was like December 2nd, 3rd, whatever. I'm like, yo, these are burning a hole in my pocket.
I'm out. I was listening to you, watching you where you were up. I think it was a Sunday night game against the Eagles where you had to get up like 2 hours later.
Yeah, dude, there's some days that it's rough. Some days I don't make it. That's why I am on a final war. I'm about to get fired, I think. I don't know.
they can't afford to lose you. Let's be real.
Yeah. No, they'd be all right. All right, we're going to talk about this thing. But before we get into this thing, I'm going to start streaming on Twitch. I'm playing Madden. I'm playing Red Dead Redemption. I got Call of Duty. I suck at it. I got shot in the face right away. Like, I was in that game for like 2 seconds. I got shot in the face. I was like, what's happening? But I'm going to try that. I don't know tonight if I'll do that game. But I'm going to start streaming like regularly. So if you're on Twitch, if you're into that stuff, follow me on Twitch. I'm learning this streaming stuff. I got a monitor on the way. My son's trying to help me hook it up. I don't know what I'm doing, but we're going to do it. So definitely hit me up
on Twitch.
Yeah. Matt Ramage on Twitch. It's not hard to spell.
Hey, you don't want to miss out on a little Call of Duty Matt Ramage. Couple beers in.
That's what I'm gonna do after we get done with this. Take a little break, drink some more beer, and then I'm play some game. Red Dead Redemption's good. It's a fun game. I always felt like I was like a cowboy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You get to ride a horse. You gotta
shoot some bears, hang out. Shoot some bears. Hey, that's pretty fitting.
Before we move any further, I want to show you something. Check this out.
Let's get it.
Oh no, hang on. I hit the wrong button. No, look, I got two cameras. I got 2 cameras. I was trying to show you. Oh man, now I screwed it up.
Deuces.
Hang on. Oh, you're still there.
Yeah, I'm here now.
All right, we gotta. That's why I don't like to hit buttons. I start hitting buttons. I don't know what I'm doing.
I see some folks in the comments.
All right, here we go.
Oh, Rick, good evening.
That was supposed to be slick. Anyways, that was supposed to be slick to show you I have 2 camera angles. It's like one's for gaming, so I set it up. Anyways, we're gonna keep it moving over here. Let's talk about the Green Bay Packers, which is people are listening to us for and watching us.
That's why we're here, right?
Let's get to this comment real quick. We got a comment over here. We got it's hard to read. The camera's right there. Read that to me, Rob.
What is the best possible quarterback outcome for the Packers next year? Asked by Brody. Brody, that's a great question, Matt. What are you thinking? This is a tough one.
The whole quarterback situation for the Packers is tough because Aaron Rodgers' contract situation is like way beyond my head. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
same here.
like they owe so much. So like if they trade him, they owe a lot. He has a trade clause, so they can't just trade him willy nilly. They would have to trade him where he wants to be traded. And if you do trade him where he wants to be traded, they're gonna lowball you a little bit. Um,
Yep.
and it's tough. I don't see a situation like this. My opinion as a cheese factory worker. I'm not all knowing. People always say like, "Rah, you don't know what you're talking about." Like, yeah, I know, bro. But
Just talking.
it's gonna be hard to. I just feel like if Aaron Rodgers plays football next year, it's gonna be in Green Bay Packers. Unless I think he might retire.
Yeah.
People think that he's afraid to retire because Brady might retire, and then they'll be didn't say. I don't think that's the case. I think that they would think it's fun. Like,
Yeah. And,
like
and who says
what they're
Brady's
both gonna go
retiring? You know,
down is what's that?
who says Brady's retiring? Like,
Yeah,
you
like
never
he
know.
might not. Like
He might
got
not.
family situations changed. He might just be like, "Yo, I'm gonna play till my leg falls off." You know,
Yeah.
arm falls off. Whatever. But like, let's kick it to you, Rob. What do you think about that? About that question over there about the quarterback situation next year?
That's tough. What is the best possible quarterback outcome for the Packers next year? So probably, the best possible for the team. I mean, how is it not Aaron Rodgers? I mean, I understand Jordan Love looked good and he's young, he could be the future, but man, Aaron Rodgers is tough to not want him on the team. And he's been playing a little, you know, off course from what he usually is during, this year compared to past years, but it's Aaron Rodgers. And until I see him just, completely, shutting down, I want him back on my squad. He's been playing pretty decent this year, at least numbers wise. I know he's missed some throws,
Yeah,
but he's got
yeah.
a thumb injury. He's got the rib injury. I don't know. So
No, I totally agree with you. And that is like a good point though, like because Aaron Rodgers is getting like crapped on because like he's this and that, but like his numbers like he's up there.
they're
And
not bad.
obviously he's missing throws. Obviously he's making mistakes.
Yeah.
He's not playing Aaron Rodgers football. But like you say, he's got a thumb injury that now he's got the rib injury. And I'm not making excuses. He's not either. That's why he doesn't talk about these injuries that much in the
But when he talks about
public.
them, everybody always talks about, hey, he's
Yeah.
making excuses, even though he says they're not excuses. So
And people are asking him questions.
yeah.
Like if someone asks you a question and he just says, "I don't want to talk about it," what's he gonna say? He's gonna
Yeah.
go Marshawn Lynch on him?
Well,
You know,
shoot, if
first
he
of all,
does
I
that,
love
he's a
Marshawn
jerk.
Lynch, but I'm just saying, like, he's
Yeah.
gonna say, "I'm just here so I don't get fined." Like,
Right. And if he
You
does that,
gotta-
he's a jerk. So it's a lose-lose situation for him, and that's just how it is, unfortunately, for him.
yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, I think the best situation is like I saw someone on Twitter today say, I forget who it was, said that Aaron Rodgers can play one more year. Jordan Love, they're gonna pick up the 5th-year option. Jordan Love will play, after next year. Like these next
saw
coming
that
up
too.
years. What's that?
I saw that too. I can't remember who tweeted that.
Yeah,
but
and I think
Yeah.
that's probably like what's gonna happen. Like they're gonna, I think, because Goot said, I think I might have saw on your post, someone else's post, because I'm not staying up too much on the Twitter world lately. It's been a wild spot, but Goot said that he's seen enough
yeah,
of Jordan Love to make his decision. Like he didn't give his decision, but he said to make my decision, I already seen enough. But it'd be cool to see him on the field at some point if the Packers come out of it. Because
right.
that's the thing. I'll ask you this. People talking about should Jordan Love play this season? Should they whatever? They're not going to play Jordan Love until the Packers are mathematically 100% eliminated from the playoffs. When there's no chance. That's not yet. But like I don't know how that's not yet. The Bears just got eliminated from the playoffs.
Isn't that crazy?
This last week. So when the moment that the Packers are eliminated from the playoffs, I think that they're gonna sit Rodgers. He's got injury that they can use that. And I get it because like a Hall of Fame quarterback, it's hard to set him even in a bad year, like when you're out of the playoffs. But like he's got an injury. They're gonna say you're hurt. Plus they gotta see Jordan Love. If you have no chance to make the playoffs, these games don't mean a lot. They gotta first of all, see Jordan Love, but not even that, but like try those stuff out, like figure out like what happened this season, because this season wasn't supposed to be like what it ended up being, and it ain't over yet. And I ain't lost faith. But like to think the Packers are gonna make the playoffs and like just go on a run is just kind of it's funny because like they haven't really proved they beat the Bears, but
Bears
like,
are bad.
yeah, you know what I mean, and that's what the Packers do. That's what Aaron Rodgers does. Anyways, before we get into all that. What are your thoughts? Jordan Love playing at some point this season.
Absolutely. I understand where you're coming from, and I think it's a completely reasonable spot and like thing to think that, if we're mathematically limited, it'd be nice to see Jordan Love play and see what he's got. But I think I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I think Aaron's gonna keep playing. Honestly, like Goot, kept saying, we're gonna put the guys out there that give us the best chance to win. Winning is good for the culture and all that stuff. Because man, on top of that, you're gonna tell Aaron Rodgers to not play.
Yeah,
Now,
that's the thing, my thing, because like it's hard to tell these guys. Like Dan
yeah,
Marino, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, whatever, those
yeah.
type of
No,
guys.
I get that, and on the other side of it, like what you said with his injuries, I think that would be the kind of the out that everybody would
Yeah.
probably fall on as far as he's got the injury, contemplating surgery, or it's getting worse. So we're gonna sit him, play Jordan Love, but Raj just said, I think earlier this week, talking about his thumb maybe becoming a non-factor. It's getting better, and the ribs are getting better, and maybe after the bye week he's healthy. So it's like the only downfall or like fallback scenario they have is like gone. So now either tell Raj to sit or I don't know. And on top of that, Goody said, I've seen enough from Love to make the decision on the 5th-year option, which I don't know. I was listening to Andy Herman this morning, and Goody and Coach, like they said what they're supposed to say. We didn't really find out any. What are they going to say? No, we don't want Rodgers back, or we'll see what he wants to. You know what I mean? They're going to say that,
Yeah.
and same with Jordan Love. He's not going to be like, oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to do it, or I'm going to pick up a fifth-year option yet. I want to see him play more, and that kind of tips the hand as far as all right. I don't know.
Yeah. That's such a good point, because if he said, we'll see if he gets on the field this year and like we'll go from there. Like if he
Yeah.
said that, then people are gonna say, well, they're not sold on him.
Yeah. Right.
So like, yeah, they have to be careful what they say. It's like politics.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
they have to like, but
Yeah.
I do think that we're gonna see Jordan Love. I don't know like if we'll see him like every game, but I do think that they'll use
Yeah.
injury as an excuse. Whether no matter what Rodgers says at some point, I think they'll say we're gonna let Rodgers, rest up, or if they, lose the next game.
No.
But
Yeah.
if they
But just
don't,
think
obviously
that.
he's gonna keep
Yeah.
playing. If they keep winning, and I'd be
Yeah.
all right with that. Packers be the
I would
first
love
7th
that.
seed.
Just think about it. Like, so I think if we went out, we got like a 50% chance to get in. So what the
I
Commanders
think
can't get
Washington has to lose like 3 games.
Yeah, I know, which is tough to ask. They just keep winning, of course. And the Seahawks won the other night instead of the Rams, which is tough. But just think we got bye week this week. The Rams with without Matthew Stafford, no Cooper Kupp. I know they just signed Baker Mayfield. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh no, I didn't see that. I seen that he was
Yeah, so they claim Baker Mayfield. Like, go ahead.
Who claimed Baker?
The Rams.
No kidding, huh?
So we play him in 2 weeks. It's going to be such a Packer thing when he suits up and lights us up after not being able to forever. But anyways, you go from the Rams, injured, they're done this year. Everybody's, their team's cashed out. Dolphins on Christmas, they go from like game to game looking super good to like looking, beatable. And then the Vikings, obviously, we're going to smoke them at home. And then the Lions at home. I don't know. The only tough game in there. Dolphins, because we're smoking the Vikings. They're
the Vikings at home, dude. There's gonna be some payback. There's gonna be a little extra.
They're like 31st defensive wise as far as giving up yards. So they give up the 31st or the second most yards per game, and the last is the Lions. So it's like we get the 2 worst defenses theoretically based off that stat. The last 2 games of the year, if we can get by the Rams, get by the Dolphins. The thing with the Dolphins is it's tough. It's down in Miami on Christmas Day,
and they're doing some stuff over there. I like their coach.
I do too. McDaniels, he's a stud.
The sound effects, like how they do that NFL films.
Yeah,
he's hilarious. Like I don't know like what they're gonna do if they're gonna win Super Bowls or whatever, but like he's
like
funny.
him,
and then I'm here for the entertainment.
Yeah, he's like a young guy. Kind of reminds me of LaFleur, off of Shanahan tree. And because I saw him talking about Georgia's the best team in the SEC to Tua, and then another one was just cool to see. He said, I effed up.
I saw that video.
And guys were like, that's why the players like him. and that's pretty cool. So I like the Dolphins. My brother-in-law is a Dolphins fan, huge fan, and I mean they don't have anything. You know, if he was a Vikings fan, I wouldn't like him as
Dude.
much. But he's a Dolphins fan, so like there's really no, unless we play him head to head, there's no reciprocation as far as how their season goes. As far as affecting
Yeah,
our
oh yeah,
season.
it's so simple. I work with a Vikings fan, and
Ah,
he does the skull chant
oh
like
god.
on the line. So then I walked up, and first of all, he's a good guy. He's a
Uh-huh.
Vikings fan, but he's all right. He does the skull chant. He keeps doing it. He sees me, he does it, and I say, yeah, dude, soccer's really been getting lit lately. And he's like, what? I was like, oh, I thought you were a soccer fan. But that's where the Vikings stole that
Even
from.
then, man, like that skull chant is just something
Dude,
else.
it's so moronic. It just,
It's so
I don't know.
weird. Like it's so
It,
cringy. Like when I think of the skull chant, I think of them doing it, or the Eagles fans doing it after they beat them in the NFC title
yeah,
game.
everyone does it
Like,
like when they beat him, and it's a beautiful thing. It is.
oh, it's hilarious. And I think the Cowboys player did it when he scored a touchdown when they were smoking them up in
Yeah,
Indianapolis.
it's a new thing to do, and I do like it that way. But I don't know. It's just stupid to me because I hate the Vikings, and it's like not even their like original thing. Like like Bills
Right.
Mafia. They're throwing themselves at tables. That's
Yeah.
them. That's their stuff.
Yep.
Bills Mafia is them. Like they built it. The Vikings just like, hey, a soccer team does it. We like that. We'll just steal it. We didn't steal it. They asked. Someone told me,
Yeah.
a Viking fan. They asked permission to use it. I was like, doesn't matter,
Okay.
bro.
Sounds good.
Anyways, we'll move on. This is not a Vikings podcast. Vikings, surround
Trash
yourself.
franchise.
But here we go. Let's get to this one. Christian Watson's going to be better than Randy Moss. All right, says I can't speak. We got Jason over here.
Jason.
But so let's talk about Christian Watson. All right, what's he got? 8 touchdowns in 4 games.
Stud.
He didn't start off fast. He had that drop everyone's talking about in the Vikings game, and then had some injuries. Didn't see the ball a whole bunch, but 8 touchdowns in the last 4 games. What do you think about Christian Watson? Like, how should we pump the brakes? Because I've already took vacation days for the Hall of Fame in like 12 years. I don't know how many years I've played.
It's tough to pump the brake. I've been pumping the brakes in the last like couple of weeks after he had the couple of blow up games against the Cowboys and the week after and the week after that, and then this past week, and it's like every week I'm like I have my fantasy and I'm like he can't keep scoring, can he? And I play him because that's just what you do when you're a Packer fan. You got a good player or you got a Packers player, you play him, and then he keeps scoring, and it's like, man, this dude, and it's fun to watch because he gets the ball. And right away, it's one of those things where it's like, man, he's gonna score, isn't he?
It's so fast, dude. It's
Yeah.
like it doesn't even like he's not running. He's like galloping,
And he's like
it's
gliding.
just like a stride.
Yeah,
It
he's
seems
so
so
tall.
effortless.
Mhm.
Like I feel like if you took a video of me just walking to the fridge, it would seem like it was more work being done than him running an 80-yard touchdown.
Sprinting 80 yards. He like glides across the field and it just, I don't know. It doesn't look like he's going very fast, but then he's smoking defenders, and it's like,
Yeah,
man.
it's like their legs are moving fast. His aren't. He's just like
Yeah.
he's
And
just
speaking,
getting
I hate to bring up the Vikings again, but man, they helped us get him. How
Yeah,
awesome
they
is that?
did. And then Viking fans are a little salty about that. Like, we don't care. We have Justin Jefferson. All right, well, you could
I mean,
also
that's
have.
cool. Yeah, Justin Jefferson's great, but Christian Watson, he's gonna be better.
Yeah, like you do.
No, Justin Jefferson, man, he's
he is legit. Like I don't hate Justin Jefferson. I actually like his game or whatever he plays for the Vikings, so I'm not ever gonna be. That's probably
right.
the nicest thing I'll ever say about him. But like he's obviously good. But like, dude,
Absolutely.
we're happy for. I think it's funny because people who like get mad at you for being happy about it. Like, oh, Packers only won this many games, this and that, and I don't care, dude. We could still like Christian Watson is, dude. He's gonna be a superstar. He's gonna be one of the best wide receivers in the league. I was a little premature the other day. I said Christian Watson will be the best wide receiver in the league, and he might be at some point. But at worst, he's gonna be a top 5 wide receiver in the league. I have no doubt on that. But there's a lot of guys to go ahead and jump ahead and say he's gonna be the number 1.
Right.
Like maybe I think he could be for sure. But like we'll see, and we'll see like what happens throughout his career. Who's throwing the football, and if Jordan Love is, yeah, it definitely has a lot to do with it. And I'm all about Jordan Love, but like Like, we still have to see. That's the thing, like, with the whole Jordan Love thing, people talking about, like, I never said, like, he's gonna be a superstar. I never said Jordan Love is this and that. I liked what he did. I thought what he did on the field and his opportunity was good. Yeah, he threw a pass to Christian Watson. He ran that thing in for a touchdown, but, like, he still got it to him. He saw him open. There's been times when Rodgers didn't see that same type of route or whatever. But I liked what I saw. But, like, the same way I tell everyone else not to, like, say he's a bust and, like, freak out, like, get these small sample sizes, you freak out. I'm not gonna freak out positively either and be like, he's gonna be this or that. But, like, I like what Jordan Love did, but we'll see, like, what he does if he becomes a starter, which I think he's gonna be at some point.
Yeah.
And like, at that point, like, we'll figure it out. Anyways, let's move along. We got some stuff I want to talk about here. All right, we got Viking fans in the chat, I believe.
Let's go.
But we got some good people in the chat too. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Not that Viking fans ain't good people.
All you need is love. No, but to speak on what you said earlier, it's like people get mad about being happy with this Packers season and stuff. They say, hey, the Packers are on TV. Think back to May. Like I would rather watch the Packers, whether they're a good or bad team, regardless, than sit there and not watch any games at all, or even just you can't be miserable if you don't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, dude.
Year. Like you're gonna be miserable almost every year, over your football season life, and it's like you can't be like that. Just accept it, enjoy the journey, good or bad, and there's nothing we could do or nothing we can control. So
yeah, and then I get complaining because you think this should be better and that should be better, like giving your opinion on that. But like, if you're a Packer fan, like I don't know, like you should enjoy wins. And like the Packers just beat the Bears in Chicago to become the most winningest team in the NFL history. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit here.
Yes, sir.
I think next maybe. But if I watch the Packers win, I get happy. People get mad like, oh, I don't know why you're happy because this season and this and that. Like, dude, because every game, dude. Otherwise, I wouldn't watch. Like, okay, exactly. I don't know. To me, everyone fan how you want to fan, have a good time with it. I'm just saying, like, for peace of mind.
Miss me with the miserable, just attitudes and all that stuff. And
it's just like constant, just anger. You're just so angry. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Maybe go outside.
Yeah,
like Aaron Nadler says,
this last game. Like this last game was probably the most fun I had watching the Packers this year. Like
I didn't live stream this game because I worked till noon. I didn't want to start it in like the second quarter, so I was like, I'll just watch the game with my wife. Hang out. I haven't watched a game like that at my house this year, where I just watched like I used to watch before I did the game streams.
Yeah,
yelling at my TV, standing up in front of my TV and just getting after it. It was cool. It was a good game. Anytime the Packers beat the Bears, dude, I'm happy. I wanted the Packers to win a lot. People like not a lot on the line. There's a lot of line. First of all, the season, but even if you don't believe that's going to happen, anyways, they became the number one, more wins than any team in the NFL in the history of the league. That's why I just made a post on Facebook. I said the Packers are the number one franchise in the league. All right, think about this. The trophy you win, if you win the whole thing, is named after the Packers coach. Packers have the most wins in the NFL right now, right?
Yep. That's right.
And like Packers are one of the most loved teams. You go across the country, you go across the world, there's Packer fans. Anywhere that they're watching football, there's Packer fans. Mm-hmm. Also, one of the most hated teams in the league, which means everyone's paying attention to it. Similar to the Dallas Cowboys because they're in Texas or whatever, and just the way the media kind of hypes them up. So everyone either loves them or hates them. No one's like, I don't know. And it's kind of the same thing with the Packers. To me, the Packers are the number one. Look back, 13 championships, and I know that people don't count them until a certain year starts, but they're, to me, they definitely count. And just the way the media covers the Packers, it's the same thing like with the Cowboys. The Cowboys, good or bad, they're getting coverage. Packers are, but they're not from Texas. They're not from the biggest state. They don't have like the reasons to be talked about just because you are that team. The Packers, the smallest, town, all the things everyone knows about already. But I just think the Packers are the number one team, and now they have the most wins in the league. And I saw people commenting on my stuff. Who cares? Who cares? Dude, only everybody people who cares. Don't care, who don't care? The people of other fan bases who are jealous that the Packers have
Yeah.
the most wins in NFL history. And then they say it
Exactly.
doesn't matter, like, win this year. Like, dude, it matters. And then for all the Viking fans who were getting on me saying that's because they were around longer. Well, then you should have got here quicker, bro. Dude, the Vikings. First of all, Viking fans who say that, like, dude, your franchise isn't even real. It's just like some added on franchise. Some billionaire who had like a bunch of other businesses, like, it'd be cool to own a football team. Aaron Nagler said this, and when he was on my podcast, and he's like, "I'll just buy this team from the Midwest. You know, we need a chant, and someone go find me a chant, dude." It's just like the Packers were there, and I also think the Bears are one of the best franchises in the history.
Yeah,
you know,
they have the second most
actually,
championships
if you look back, because I'm a history guy, I love the history. Even the Lions were tearing up in the 50s. Those old school teams who helped form the league that people want to just throw away and not worry about. Don't count the championships from back then. If it wasn't for back then, there wouldn't be a right now. All these players making millions of dollars, which they deserve because what they go through. But like it all started back then, like not just the 60s, but the 50s before that, whatever, the whole thing started like being like, actually organized and like getting their stuff together. So people who would just count Super Bowls, whatever, have a good time with it. But like, and I count the Bears championships too, and I count the Browns and the Lions and all these. I would count the Vikings, but like,
but they got nothing.
I mean, I'd be like, I'd be trying. I looked it up, Googled it. But so what are your thoughts on that? All right, Packers are the best team in the franchise. What are in the league? What do you got on that? I'll talk here while you talk.
No, like you said on your Facebook post, it's common knowledge, right? Most championships, most NFL MVPs, now the most wins, and just being one of the cornerstones of the NFL. I mean, hey, when you think of the NFL and NFL history, this it doesn't start with us, but pretty much does. Bears,
I think it
Packers,
does.
Even the Cardinals, like they go way back. I know they switch cities, but we're a cornerstone of the NFL. Our fans are unlike no other. Smallest city in sports, out of all major sports. So it's like, hey, and look at us now. We're thriving. We're thriving. This is what we do, baby.
Let me ask you
that for this team, baby. I ride or die for this team. I might be dying this year, but I ride or die for this team. I'm telling you,
dude. I'm with you. Let me ask you this. I didn't have this question planned, so I don't even have an answer myself. But off the top of your head, you had to wing this thing. Top 5 NFL franchises, just like their like their history, they're like known, or like whatever you feel, whatever criteria you want to give, that you would say the top 5 franchises, and maybe throw some facts in or a couple why you think that.
No, I get it. In no order: Packers, for obvious reasons; Cowboys, Steelers. I mean, the Patriots. I know their success is more recently, but I mean, they are probably the best dynasty ever, without a doubt. Besides, I know the Packers won, 5 championships, in 8 years, but man, that Patriots run they went with Tom Brady, Bill Belichick.
7 years.
That's 5 and 7. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's 4, and man, those early squads, the Bears. I hate to say it, but they saved our squad. So just for that reason, I'll throw the Bears in there. They got a ton of history. And
for sure. I definitely agree with that.
Just because they've been trashed for 40 years doesn't mean, hey, one Super Bowl.
Because like I said, like I'm like a history guy. So like those early teams, I feel like that they deserve respect, like all of them.
Absolutely. And that's the thing is in 80 years, once, I'm sure the Super Bowl trophy and that's going to stick around for some time, but all things change at some point. Will it always be called the Vince Lombardi Trophy? I hope so. But
yeah, I think it will. They ain't changed that thing.
If some coach wins 9, 10 Super Bowls, in 20,
no. Well, I don't think that could even happen anymore. Like what happened with the Patriots, I think is never going to happen again. Like that was wild.
All
right, so let me get to my. I don't really have a list.
Let's hear from you, Matt. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna say, dude. All right, I got a lot of different reasons. Like, why I would say the Packers number 1. Like for the reasons I just said, most wins, most Lombardi Trophy. named
We're
after
just
our
so
coach.
unique, fan owned,
Yeah, it's
small
fan,
town.
small town, no billionaire owner. Number 2, I think I will say the Bills. Because I feel
Mhm.
like, first of all, part of it is because their fan base, like the Bills have been bad for so long, but people still know, people still care. People, the small market team, like the Packers, even though it's New
Yeah,
York, but it's like the small part apparently. I don't know, I never been there, but good people too. You know, I love
right.
Bills fans. Number 3, maybe the Steelers, because they, and
They're
I
a
think
cornerstone too.
I was gonna put like I shouldn't like really number these because I would put the Bears somewhere in there because I feel like the Bears, like the history that they had, and with Hallis, like you can't tell the story of the NFL without talking about the Bears. Like so many great teams,
Right.
and not all championship teams. They got that. We got 85 and a lot of championships before all that. But
Mhm.
like the Steelers, I think have to be in there. Great fan base, historical team. They did a lot of stuff. They killed it in the 70s. They got teams, that are just ridiculous. The same thing. Like all these teams, I think you can't tell the story of the NFL without talking about these teams.
Yep.
So I think the Cowboys got to be in there somewhere,
I think
just
so too.
because they're talked about so much, and they pretty much ran stuff in the 90s. Like I remember them
Yeah.
making jokes of playing the Packers was like practice for them, which
Yep.
really irritated me, and that nothing has ever triggered me in football more than that. I remember seeing it on the news one night, and I was like, "Oh, I hate these some." But we got a revenge, at some point. Actually, we didn't because someone else beat them for us
Yeah.
for us to get the Super Bowl in the
Uh-huh.
90s. But yeah, like I think that I don't know how many I named. I think I might have named 5. But yeah,
I forgot. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I think you definitely got to put. I think all those teams, whether how you rank them is your own business, but I think that all those teams got to be in there. But like the Vikings definitely aren't there. Like
No, they're one of the teams
I don't think they cracked the bottom 5 for me.
I just
Like they
don't
just
think
don't matter.
they don't have much of an impact on the NFL. One team I did forget was the 49ers.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
You know?
they were trying. Let's get to the chat to see if anyone is talking about it in here.
Yeah, John said San
Yeah.
Francisco, and
Yeah,
I completely agree.
I agree. I don't know where you rank San Francisco, if they're in the top 5 or if they're like
Yeah,
6,
maybe
7,
right
I don't know.
outside.
But they definitely, like Joe Montana, like when I was a kid, 49ers were that team.
Yeah.
Like yeah, they like Joe Montana, like, and like Jerry Rice was the reason. Like the first time I heard the word GOAT, it was only Jerry Rice.
Yep.
Um, that's like where I first heard the word, and like nobody called any quarterback a GOAT back then. It was Jerry Rice. I remember Jerry Rice was on an interview and they asked him. He didn't know what it meant. But like that was like what to me the word GOAT was invented as far as how we use it in football and sports was for Jerry Rice. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
But no,
those
like
Niners
you
teams
said,
were ridiculous.
I feel like the Vikings just have no impact on the NFL. And
Yeah.
this would be fine, it would be true if I didn't dislike them either. They don't have any impact. They don't have any history. They don't have any, they went to 4 Super Bowls and lost all of them.
Yeah,
We've
I was
only been
saying
to
like
5, and we won 4, you know?
yeah. I I think like I say about the Packers, Cowboys, like all these teams, you can't tell the story of the NFL without them. The only reason the Vikings come up in the NFL story is because they lost 4 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
That's the only and
That's
the
it.
Bills too, but like the Bills also have other stuff. Like they throw each other through tables. They entertain us at least.
Right.
And now they got themselves a team. Josh Allen, I think that they're gonna do some stuff. But back in the day the Bills had Jim Kelly. But yeah, the Vikings had those teams too, back in the day, the 70s.
Yeah.
But they didn't win nothing, you know what I mean? So that's
But even with the Bears, like, they have the most Hall of Famers. So,
yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of history right there just from one team. Walter Payton, Mike Ditka, all these guys, just studs, but they couldn't get it done.
No.
So
That's
it
what
is what it is.
I like about Bears fans. They always talk about, 85 Bears are the best team. Then what happened in 86, bro? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's why I see Patriot fans can talk because they did it. They did it
We
consistently.
backed it up again and again and
dude,
again.
I don't hate the Patriots. I just hate their fans. And actually probably the whole Patriots team, really. But I don't hate Tom Brady though. I actually like Tom Brady. I think he's
That's how I've
entertaining.
always felt. Like,
I don't like playing against them, but
No.
and I think he is very fortunate to have top 10 scoring defense.
Did you see that
every
game
year.
last night?
Yeah. Yeah. I actually didn't see it. I I saw the highlights. I passed out because I'm old and I work
I
in
went
the
to
morning.
sleep before. I went to sleep at like 9 o'clock. I got a 1.5-year-old, so when she goes down, we go down for the most part. And I woke up. I think they were down 16-3 when I went to bed around that score, I think. And I woke up and I saw. I didn't even open the score, and I was like, they probably came back and won, didn't they? Like, I opened my phone 17-16. I'm like, doesn't surprise me one bit, you know?
Yeah, it does. I want to get to this comment right here because this is a
Go
very
ahead.
good point. He says, "Who is the only team to have a song and back it up? Chicago Bears. The Bears still suck. The Bears still suck." Dude, I don't know what you're going for with that comment. I
Yeah,
don't think it was where I was going. But yeah,
absolutely.
I think the Bears still suck song is the only song that really
So
holds up, and they
they've been backing that up for 40 plus years. So it is what it is. I was talking with a Bear fan on Twitter. You know how that goes, right?
yeah, that's always a good time.
So they were talking about which number is going to be retired next. And he had a picture of Justin Fields, and he said, "I'll start. I think this is the number that's going to get retired." And that's
Yeah.
fine. You know, you're hyping up your guy. I get it. If our guy was playing pretty well and had the talent that Justin Fields does, you know, it's undeniable. He's a talented guy. Got a lot of stuff to work on. But then I got to looking, and the Bears announced that Mike Ditka would be the last number to be retired because they've done the limit of numbers. And so,
Oh, really?
yeah, I just posted. I was like, "Hey, dude, like, just know your own franchise. Like, this is
That's
common
wild to
knowledge."
think that you could play for the Bears no matter what you do.
Yeah,
They will not retire your number because they've reached their max. They're like, no
they would have
more.
to unretire someone's number, and you can't do that.
Well, that's the thing with people. Everyone wants everyone to retire everyone's number. But
Like,
like,
that can't
you
happen.
know,
Like
yeah.
12, yeah, it'll get retired. But
Yeah, it has to be players that like change your franchise.
yeah,
That
one
like,
Super Bowls,
well,
and,
yeah, like,
like
because if it was up to me, Crabtree's would be retired.
absolutely, absolutely. But then you'd have that dilemma with 83, Jeff Janis, all that
Yeah,
kind
there's
of
a
stuff.
lot of things going on
Uh,
there. We'd have a whole bunch of
yeah.
83s on the wall.
Yeah, some more two raised 83, so it's kind of one of those things. But even Mason Crosby, like, he's the GOAT as far as Packers go. All-time leading scorer. The longest streak, I think, regular season game streak. I think he just broke Brett Favre's or tied it, if I remember correctly. And he's given us so many awesome moments as Packer fans. Like, I know last year everybody
Yeah.
wanted him gone, and I was one of the few that was just like, hey, he's one of my favorite all time. Unless he is like saying I'm done, then I don't want him to be gone. Same thing with Raj. Unless he's saying I'm gone, then I don't want him to leave. So,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree
you
with
know,
Crosby. So let me ask you this though. Speaking of that, like that question you were talking with the Bears fan. Besides Aaron Rodgers, who do you think? Like, I'm not saying that it's for sure going to happen, but someone on this roster who has the best shot to get in there, even like the Packers Hall of Fame, because the Packers don't retire numbers that easily. But who, besides Aaron Rodgers, who do you think will be in the Packers Hall of Fame that's on this team right now?
Mason Crosby for sure, but that's a cop out, so I'll choose somebody
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, that is.
Man, that's tough. Kind of got a bunch of young guys, and Kenny Clark has been really good, but he's young, and he's a D tackle. Those guys don't get as much love as they deserve.
They don't give him the credit.
Yeah, I don't know. Clay Matthews' numbers are going to get retired. So what does that do? Or not retired, sorry. Clay Matthews will be in the Packers Hall of Fame. Jair, maybe? Am I blanking?
I would say, I think Jair's a good one if he sticks
David
around.
Bakhtiari,
And
maybe?
like, I think David Bakhtiari probably at some point will, because the Packers Hall of Fame is different than the Ring of Honor, obviously, for people who don't
Right.
know.
They
But
put
I would
him-
say, like, from a young player's point of view, like, not the next player, because obviously they bring guys up from past years
Right.
and put them in the Hall of Fame every now and again.
like
But from-
Devontae will be in the Packers Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So like those guys are gonna get put in. But I think I would say Mr. Christian Watson, out of the young guys, because like you get comments right here like Cobb, like Randall Cobb,
Randall Cobb,
definitely.
completely forgot about Randall Cobb.
Yeah. I
absolutely.
didn't think about that one. But like out of the young guys, because there's a few guys that we know are going into the Packers Hall of Fame. But I think Christian Watson could be there. He's young. He's starting fast. He's starting faster than even Devontae did. And I'm not saying
Absolutely.
he's better than Devontae Adams, but like as a rookie wide receiver, because a lot of people confuse like what I say, I talk up Christian Watson so much. I'm not saying he's a star now. I think he's going to be a star. He's got a great start. He's starting faster than I think any wide receiver for the Packers has in a long time. Like, I don't even know. Maybe Sterling Sharp. I'm not sure how he started. But Devontae didn't start great. Jordy didn't start great. James Jones is a lot of these guys didn't start out just popping off. First of all, because back in those Brett Favre days, they had some wide receivers. So when you were a rookie, you weren't dependent on. So Christian Watson, I think, is getting depended on a little more this year than probably any wide receiver has in a long time.
Yeah.
For the Packers. But yeah, I think Christian Watson is going to be a star. I think he's going to be a Devontae Adams. Let's get to some of these comments over here.
Let's do it.
Lynn Dickey, years are finally coming back. Just wait and see. I see these comments all the time. Dude, you know what? You know what's great about that? They want it so bad. They're just so tired of the Green Bay Packers dominating them forever, bro. It's like some of these kids, they're young. Their whole life. It was Brett Favre, it was Aaron Rodgers destroying their football dreams. And now they are just begging. They are hoping. They are praying to the gods that it's finally over. And that's why when they see a guy like Christian Watson, they see Jordan Love throwing some lasers in there, and the future scares them, has them shaking in their boots, and they just want it to be over. Please, for the love of God, let the reign of the Green Bay Packers over my team come to an end. But it's not going to happen. All right? We had to pump the
switch so good.
Those comments get me. I love it.
Every year. We've been hearing it every year with the past 2 years. You know, Riders last year and Joy next year. That started like 2 years ago. And then it didn't happen. And then it didn't happen again. And now they're all saying it again. And it's like, hey, if I were them, just like how I've been doing with Tom Brady, it's like, hey, oh, he's not going to come back. He's not going to come back. Well, now, yeah, he's going to come back. I'm talking about in the end of games. It's just what he does. Like,
yeah,
we'll be back and we'll always beat the Bears. I think we've swept them like 10 out of the last 14 seasons.
Dude, this is like the worst year. If you think about it, this is the Packers' worst season record-wise. With their starting quarterback not missing games. Because like you think about Aaron Rodgers, Packers haven't had a bad season when Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt. Right? And then back in the day, Brett Favre, so it would have to be that 4-12 season where the Packers struggled or whatever. I don't think Favre didn't miss no games. But like, yeah, all the bad games the Packers have since then, I think Aaron Rodgers was hurt those years. But like, dude, and like every year, like with the Rodgers getting traded talk, like I see all the sports station, all the media people talking about it. For 3 years in a row, you've been saying it, almost guaranteeing it in some cases. And like, always wrong. So why? Why do they keep doing it? Because like, I'm supposed to believe you? Oh, you know now? You knew the last 3 years you promised me. Like, dude, like
that was like when Mark Schlereth, said he was going to the Broncos and it's close to being done, and that was false. It's like, dude, no,
dude, Mark Schlereth's the bum, bro. I don't like to like call guys out. Even like during the game, I saw someone call it out on Twitter too. I think Peter Bukowski. He said that Kenny Clark was the edge rusher.
Yeah,
I think he's an idiot.
He's just so bad.
His nickname is Stank, and I think they're talking about his football take.
Stank.
Isn't it like Stank or
football knowledge? Yeah, Stank.
I can't stand the guy. I think he's an idiot.
It's just so. But honestly, outside of him, and I don't even care. I don't even dislike him a whole lot. Who's somebody just in sports media that that trashes the Packers besides Skip? Who's somebody you just can't stand?
The Vikings freaking radio guy.
Oh my gosh, he's
such an idiot.
He's such an arrogant guy.
Yeah. I think it's funny because he calls out LaFleur and like some people in the Packers about being classless. But like,
you must have missed Mike Zimmer's handshake a couple of years ago.
Yeah, like dude, the Vikings, their radio guy, first of all, he's a fan. And I'm a fan. But like I shouldn't be in a booth. Don't put a fan in a booth. Put some, because like a lot of times, even like if you're a Vikings fan and they win it, they score a touchdown, he just screams because he's a fan, which is what I do. Yeah, I can't stand him. He should not be in a booth. He shouldn't even have a job. Put him on a podcast somewhere.
Yeah.
Bury him.
Do that. Yeah. Like him and Wayne Larrivee are on two completely different pedestals.
Yeah.
Like Wayne is just an absolute legend. And What's the Vikings guy get his name again?
PA, I think. I just know him on Twitter.
Gosh, what is his name?
Let's get to some other ones though, because I agree.
Yeah.
We got Mark chiming in here. Kyle Hurd says that Aaron Rodgers only wants attention, but talks about him every single day. He uses Aaron Rodgers for attention. Like
Hey, I
a
get
lot
it.
of I'm not saying nobody would watch him without that, but like he uses it because it's easy. Like I could literally make videos every day trashing Justin Fields. And I actually like Justin Fields a little
Yeah, me
bit.
too.
I think he's a good kid. He plays for the Bears, so I will boo him. But you know, but like I literally could because people they just love negativity, and that's what Kyle Hurd bites on. Talk trash about one of the most best players in the league, and like I said, I could trash Brady. I could just go on a negative fest, and I would probably go viral. I'd quit my job next weekend.
I
But
was gonna
like
say, yeah, you get more
I'm
views,
not
and I
gonna do that.
understand that's what Coward's job is, and that's what is he on FS1? I watch no sports TV. I don't really watch TV much at all outside of some shows, some sports, but I don't watch any like Stephen A, Colin Coward. I don't ever watch any of that, but I understand, that's what their job is. Fox Sports One is like, hey, we need, we need viewers, we need, some
FS1
content.
figured it out pretty quick. We need
Yeah,
negativity, and
right.
we're gonna shine.
And it's working, and he's a legend in that category, just like Stephen A. Smith is. But is he respected by a ton of people? Probably not. Which you're gonna sacrifice respect for a paycheck. Paul Allen is his name.
Yeah, Paul Allen is his name.
He's such a just a
Yeah,
dump.
but like what you were saying is exactly true. It's like they have to get views, and that's how you do it. Negativity brings in views.
Yep.
I don't know. I mean, not that I'm always positive. Like I trash people. I make fun of Kirk Cousins. I don't like
Yeah.
really trash people like personally
Well, that's
because
what
I don't
rivalries
get
are
into it
for.
like that.
That's what rivalries are all
Yeah,
about. And then
I take time with it, but like I don't just sit there and talk trash. But I'm like, whatever. They're like this year they're winning. He's over there celebrating. I had no problem with that until they lost the next game. And I was like, oh, maybe you shouldn't act like you won a Super Bowl.
I know that's the thing too. Like this year, hey, Vikings are doing good, and that's fine. They're having a great season. But I had replied to some other Vikings reporter this. How do the Vikings keep winning these games? These close games. And I said, well, take it from somebody who went through that 2019 season with the Packers. They're the luckiest 13-3 team of all time.
Yeah.
They messed around and found out in the playoffs.
Yeah. That's the thing. That's when you find out.
Yeah,
That's when you find out.
Take it from somebody who saw it. Like you'll find out, and it's gonna suck, but like you're gonna find out because I think I saw today the Vikings and Jets have given up like the same amount of points, or not the points, a same amount of yards this season. I think the Vikings have given up like 3 less yards, 4,000 some each, and the Jets are 2-10, and the Vikings are 10-2, and their margin of winning has been so slim and so dang lucky. The Bills game, get out of here with that. The Bills game, get out of here.
Look at this comment.
If they were like,
he said you're gonna eat those words when the Vikings win the Super Bowl.
yeah.
Dude, I ain't know
Billy,
to
my
say
guy. Billy, I'm sorry.
Vikings aren't winning the Super Bowl, bro.
You'd be lucky to get
I didn't mean to cut you off. This comment threw me off.
Like seriously.
Dude, the Vikings, dude, first of all, look at the whole NFL. Even if they happen to make the Super Bowl, they're getting toasted. But I don't think they're gonna. I think the NFC is gonna be kind of a. I don't even know what's gonna happen. Like on top,
I think the Cowboys are front runner.
Yeah, I think that the Eagles, like, we'll see. Like one of those teams got to get hot. Dude, I just have no faith in the Vikings.
I
win
don't.
Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins.
And the thing is, I got a couple Viking fan family members, some friends, and a couple of them are, hey, I'm afraid for this team come playoff time because they haven't convinced me that they're, a legit contender because they squeeze by these bad teams. They squeeze by the Dolphins with their third string quarterback. They squeeze by the Commanders. They squeeze by the Jets last week with Mike White, and I don't know. It's just they squeeze by the Bears. They squeeze by everybody from these crazy end of game outcomes. And like the Jets game last week, they dropped the go ahead touchdown with like a minute and a half to go, and then he throws a pick, and it's like, of course he does.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
hey, they'll mess around and find out, and I cannot wait. I hope it's the first. I hope it's the first round. That'd be amazing.
Dude, I cannot wait, bro. And like I get it because like I think it's funny because Viking fans say to me, oh, because like I keep saying I can't wait till you guys lose. And then they're like, oh, you're just waiting for us. Like that's what you do every year, bro. That's what Viking fans do every year. The Packers are in the playoffs every year. They're like, they're the worst 13-3 team of all time. They're this, they're that. They celebrate. But so now it's our time.
It is.
Like
We're in
we'll
their
see what
shoes.
the
I get
Packers
it.
season comes to. But like the Vikings, dude, it's Chokovania over there, bro. It's just
Hey, I don't think I ever asked you. Did I ask you what the question we answered earlier about Packers quarterback situation? What do you think's going to happen next year with Rodgers, Love? What do you think?
I think Rodgers is going to play. I think he's either going to play for the Packers or he's going to retire.
Yeah,
I can see him retiring. I don't think he needs football. He does it because he wants to. But if next year he decides he wants to go on vacation for a year, then he'll do that.
Yeah.
I don't think he's worried about Brady at all. If he
so
retires, people say he wants the attention. I don't think he cares as much as people
I think
think.
that'd be kind of cool if they went in together.
Yeah, because there'll be two Hall of Famers, like two of the best of this generation for sure. Brady is what he is, all the championships. Rodgers is what he is. Like I think it would be a legendary. I don't think anyone else wants to retire then.
No, I don't think so either.
They're going to Hall of Fame. Like no one's gonna care.
I just think Rodgers got a lot of money coming his way next year, and he doesn't need money.
And that's the thing. He has so much money, so I think
it's like
he'll
but at
play.
the same time, these young guys they're stepping up, and like he talked about it earlier this week. We can lose to any team, but we can beat any team. That's the kind of team we are this year.
Yeah, and that's kind of exactly what I think about the Packers. Is they could beat anyone, but they can lose to anyone. Like if they play at their best, they're great. But they don't do that too often.
They don't do that too
often. I don't think they have.
They don't play complementary football. The defense gets a stop. The offense can't move. The offense scores. The defense can't get a stop. When Amari Rodgers is around,
it's one or the other. It seems like
if you just play at all, they click on all cylinders, which rarely ever happens. Then they can be good, but that's a lot of ifs, a lot of coulds.
So let me ask you this for next year, because people are talking about next year a little bit. What about Aaron Jones?
Yeah, I would love to keep him. One of my favorite players on the team currently. He's up for the Walter Payton Man of the Year award again.
Oh yeah.
Like he just carries himself and like represents the Packers, better than anybody could ask for. I want him to return so bad and just, but man, I don't know exactly the numbers. I know it's pretty large.
And I think it's kind of how the Packers kind of figured it too. Like they got rid of Jamal Williams, kept Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon. I think the point of drafting AJ Dillon is because they weren't sure what Aaron Jones was going to do. So they were either going to lose Aaron Jones or Jamal Williams, and they ended up keeping Aaron Jones, lost Jamal Williams. So now I can see them doing the same thing. AJ Dillon, maybe they think that they could break someone else, and AJ Dillon could be that guy. I hope they don't. And like I don't know, like what's going to happen.
He's just so good.
I thought he was gone last time. I didn't think that.
I thought he was gone last time too, and then right at the end he snuck back in.
Went and got it in. Yeah. But dude, Aaron Jones is probably one of the best humans that like in the league. Like he does so much off the field to help not only Wisconsin but Texas, where he's from. He's just a good dude. I met him this Packers training camp. Preston Smith got me into the family area where the family watches practice. Yeah. And after practice, Aaron Jones saw me. He recognized me, because he follows me on Instagram. Came up to me and like talked to me. Like I was like, oh, because I was watching. I was like, oh, this is Aaron Jones right here. He's taking pictures. He's talking to family or whoever, friends, people he knows or whatever. And I was just watching. I was like, oh. Then he came over, like he said what's up to me. I thought it was so crazy. I was like, oh my goodness, because like,
how sick is that?
He's the one that recognized me. I mean, I recognize him too, obviously. But it was cool that he came up and talked to me. We got a picture. I think he's probably one of the coolest dudes. Everyone that you've ever heard that met Aaron Jones, always like a great story. Off the field and on the field, he's just a beast. They need to get in the ball more.
Good, dude. You can run the offense through him, and I would have no complaints. And that's just the kind of guy he is, or the kind of player he is. I mean, you hear it from everywhere. He says yes, sir, yes, ma'am. He's so respectful. I was watching the Rich Eisen show. a couple or listening to the clip from it some months ago when he was on there, and he's Rich Eisen was going off just saying, hey, this guy is so polite, he's so nice. I love chatting with him every time he's on, and I feel like that's how everybody feels about him.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Aaron Jones is like he's like superhuman.
On that, let's switch players. What are you thinking about David Bakhtiari?
David Bakhtiari is gonna be a tough one because like he's great like when he's on the field, signed a big contract, got hurt. I know that he's like a touchy one, like fans like want him like killed and like, kidnapped and like
Unreal, dude. I don't understand like people that are mad at him. Like, you think he doesn't want to play, or
yeah.
they think he's stealing money? It's like, no, he earned that contract, and then the injuries. That's what this game is. The injuries are a part of it, and I know
Yeah,
it's been tough, but
yeah, and the thing is like the Packers were in a tough spot because he got hurt. Like, what did people want to do? Cut him and like give up like however many 40
that
million, whatever. Like, there's like there's penalty. People don't realize like there's cap penalties. Like, so even if they wanted to, even if they were like, okay, they can't just pay him a injury clause because he just signed a whatever $100 million deal or whatever it was.
right.
And when he's playing, he's great. Come next year, they have a decision to make. I don't know like the cap situations. I'll probably have someone on the podcast at some point that knows stuff. Not that you don't, but like I don't for sure. I don't know like
I'm not a
every
cap guy either. So
yeah. I'm not a cap guy. But I know that there's like penalties. I think that LaFleur was already asked about it. He kind of like tiptoed around it. It was like because he is a great left tackle. Like the team is better with him on the field, but
yeah,
they have to figure out
I think if you cut him next year,
tag.
it's like, I don't know, you save 20 million or 17 million, and if you keep him, you can cut him the year after next and still save like 17 million. So I think if Rodgers is back, David Bakhtiari is probably back. If Rodgers is gone, I think it probably makes sense to, as much as it hurts to say, it's probably smart to move on to put that money elsewhere.
I think that a lot has to depend on if they bring Rodgers back, like they're going all in. They're gonna kick some cans down the road some more. They've been kicking them for a minute,
Long time.
Remember an episode of Roseanne where she was talking about like how to pay the bills, and she said, "Send the cable bill to the light company, send the light bill to the cable company, send this bill to that," and so that it just buys you time, right?
Yeah.
Like by the time like, oh, it was an accident, they start mailing stuff back. By the time they get their money, all right, now you got it. That's kind of what the Packers are doing. Though a lot of teams doing, kicking a can down the road, but eventually that can,
yeah, it's gonna.
You gotta pay that. You gotta pay that.
I was gonna say it's gonna. He's stuck to the ground. There's no more kicking it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the Packers are gonna have bill collectors calling the house. Like when you're a kid, like don't tell them, don't answer the phone.
Don't answer the phone. Don't answer the door. Don't do it. But no, dude, overall, like, I don't know. I'm having fun this season. I understand. Like I tweeted out earlier this year, I said, "Hey, you can't break my heart in the playoffs if you don't get there," kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I get it. I'm rooting for for them to win every game, but they're a team that can lose to anybody. They're a team that can beat everybody. It just depends on which team shows up, and I don't think we've seen the great team show up week in, week out. Clearly, will that change?
Oh, yeah,
Who knows?
We definitely haven't.
I don't know. I'm here for the ride. Like I said, I'd ride or die for this team. I may be dying this year, but
dude, that's the thing. I'd ride with it because since I've been talking about the Packers, like I'm a cheese factory worker, but since like doing what I do, like making videos and like doing screwing around on the internet, like I was on a sideline for the Titans game. I got to go on the field. Like I was like so close, like Mason Crosby kicking practice field goals and like other players.
Yeah.
And like just all the cool stuff that I got to do, meet Rashawn Gary and like do all this, Preston Smith and all this stuff. Haha, Clinton Dix, like all this stuff. It's a blast. Like, yeah, this year is like down, but like dude, like how can you not? I still love it. I don't live and breathe like if the Packers win. I want to win. Like I care a lot. Like I get mad when they lose. Like I scream and like all that stuff. But like I just love this team, dude. I just love it. I love watching like when they beat the Bears. I was celebrating like they might have just won a playoff game. I remember like you see that comment of Viking fans that you guys act like you just won a Super Bowl, and I said I know how I act when the Packers win a Super Bowl. I've done it twice.
You haven't done it at all. That was
Dude,
so
that was
hilarious.
like
That
my
cracks me
best.
up, dude.
When I saw that comment, I was like, oh my goodness. This is like how much Mike Tyson must feel. Like when he just got that, he just got the guy and he's all like, you know, all like in the video
Oh,
games, all hazy. And you
uh-huh.
can like Mortal Kombat, finish him. Pow!
Just hits him.
That's how I felt right there.
Dude,
No,
when I
because
saw that, I cracked up, and then I saw somebody post on your Instagram story with like the laughing in the background, dude. I was cracking up. You saw me tag you in the tweet where I said, hey, in the words of Matt Ramage, it was a Bears fan, a young Bears fan that is, because if you're old enough, he could have witnessed one. But I said, hey, dude, we know how to celebrate Super Bowls, and this ain't it. Like,
dude, it
you don't
is
know how to
absolutely
celebrate
not
Super
it.
Bowls, so don't act like you know
Dude,
how to act.
I witnessed in '96 when they were like climbing, telephone poles and like people were
Yeah,
driving down Main Street, rocking cars, like no one like burned the city down or nothing. But like that was a rocking party. Like, we beat the Bears. Like I went to bed early that night. You know what I mean? Like it was cool. I was happy that the Packers had the most wins in NFL history. And I don't care what
absolutely.
anyone says. People are like, who cares? This and that. I care. I care a lot. I think
It's
that's
history.
awesome.
Come on.
It's history, dude. Packers have more wins than any other team.
Yeah.
Best franchise to ever exist, if I do say so myself. What is up, Mr. Joe? How you doing today? All right, I think we're gonna wrap this thing up.
Let's
But
do it.
you could find Mr. Rob over here. I almost forgot your name. Rob over here, Green Bay
Thanks,
Packers
man.
Daily on
Thanks.
Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. He's all over the place. Are you over there on the TikTok doing dances and whatnot?
The funniest thing ever, I just got TikTok today.
Yeah, so you dancing or what? What
I'm
are you
not
doing over there?
dancing. No way. No,
Dude,
I
you gotta get a little something. You gotta get a little something. I don't know how to dance.
absolutely not. I am not a dancer, but just opened up TikTok today. There's Packer fans over there now, and I didn't want to get TikTok for a while just because I
Dude, I'm
don't
on
dislike
TikTok.
it.
I've been on it. I've been on it, dude. I'll be over there
Yeah,
dancing.
I
I'll be
gave
getting
you a
jiggy with.
follow. I
No,
gave
I
you a
don't
follow.
dance.
No big deal.
I'll follow you. I'll follow you back over
I
there.
don't
Talking Tik.
dislike TikTok at all. I was like, man, if I get TikTok, I'll find myself scrolling through that way too much.
Yeah, dude. I'd be just watching people get arrested all day. You know what I mean?
So I was like, I'm gonna hold off. But I say, hey, there's a Packers community over there. I gotta be a part of it.
There's some good Packer fans over there. But everyone, be sure to follow the Green Bay Packer Daily over on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and be sure to subscribe on my YouTube. Also, Green Bay Packer Daily is also on YouTube and on Twitch. I'm gonna be going active on Twitch. I'm gonna start gaming. We're gonna play some Madden. I just created a quarterback. I play for the Jets, and the reason I play for the Jets, I don't like playing with the Packers because like if I play with Aaron Rodgers, I play worse than Aaron Rodgers does in real life. And it's supposed to be the other way around, right? Usually when you play Madden, like you make a guy look good. Like and people are like, that's fake. He would never do that. It's the opposite for me. When I'm Aaron Rodgers, I throw like 16 interceptions.
Uh-huh.
So I created my own quarterback, went through the process, got drafted, or whatever happens when you do that, make a player thing. And
Get at Matt on Twitch.
yeah,
You will not want to miss it.
yeah, I suck though. I'd be throwing interceptions. I get
Yeah, that's
sacked
all
a
right.
lot. I'd be looking deep. But yeah, hit me up on Twitch at Matt Ramage and all the other places. But go Pack Go. Big shout out to Quick Trip sponsoring the show. Go Pack Go. And I appreciate y'all tuning in. All righty, we gonna be out this thing. And hang on, I gotta find this one thing. Oh, make it good, look good. We out. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I already deleted the